Juz 2, the New Covenant, Ayat 142 to 162. Continuing on from the theme of the Kaaba and its significance in religious history, through this Juz, Allah transitions the subject from ancient history directly to the lifeline of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Furthermore, now that the parts of Al-Fatiha have been demonstrated in the first Juz, Allah begins to introduce the covenant and laws that have been specified to the community of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. These ayat also define the various paths chosen by people in his time based on their responses. Through this specific ayat, Allah initiates this section by detailing the issue of the changing of the Qibla from Al-Qudus in Jerusalem to the Kaaba in Mecca. Here we are introduced to the hypocrites whom Allah described using the exact sentences they would say in response to the changing of the Qibla. Moreover, at this point, Allah reminds us that the Prophet, peace be upon him, does not have to answer to us regarding the laws of Allah. Rather, his role is to hold us accountable regarding whether we have followed divine guidance or not. Following on from the Qibla, Allah also sets the record straight regarding Al-Safa and Al-Marwa and how they form part of the Hajj and Umrah rites. Simultaneously, Allah chastises those who guide guidance from the people and persist in disbelief, a precedent that was set from the days of ignorance. Ayah 163 to 176. The majority of the lessons in these ayah revolve around the theme of blindly following religion, allowing people to withhold and distort knowledge, and how these matters lead to hell. Allah first declares that He is the only creator and no other has authority over Him. Accordingly, He also declares that those who worship Him alone should struggle to avoid being led astray or guided by people who worship deities other than Him. One example of the ways that such a struggle manifests itself is in dietary restrictions regarding meats. Allah states that the food we eat must only be according to what He has made lawful. Ayah 177 to 203. After setting the foundation of prayer and establishing divine authority in law-giving, Allah then directs the reader to consider how righteousness is a much broader matter than simply following the rules of the prayer alone. Righteousness includes following guidance in determining who is most deserving of charity, how justice is delivered, how inheritance is divided, how to fast in Ramadan, citing the crescent moon to establish times of worship and avoiding tampering with time, refraining from devising schemes to acquire each other's wealth unlawfully, how to conduct war, how to perform Hajj. Ayah 202 to 222. These verses center around the theme of righteousness in interpersonal relationships and how they are affected in various ways. Allah first establishes the tone by describing the characteristics of one who ultimately seeks to serve his own ego and contrasts this with the one who serves the pleasure of Allah. Allah continues by instructing us to strive together to ascertaining peace. He reminds us of the fate of the children of Israel and how humanity was once united but began using knowledge to dominate each other instead of improving themselves. Allah then answers 5 questions that people ask the Prophet. First, what should be given in charity and to whom? Number 2, permissibility of fighting during the sacred months while under religious persecution. Number 3, permissibility of gambling and alcohol. Number 4, how to care for the orphan. Number 5, the laws of menstruation. Ayat 222 to 243. Though this section spans several pages, it is simply an extension of the menstruation topic. Menstruation is a matter that directly affects both marriage and divorce, and it is for this reason that Allah describes in great detail how women should be treated in marriage, the rules regarding how divorce can be conducted, and the regulations of the waiting period iddah. The text further covers teachings on how widows should conduct themselves and the waiting period following the death of her husband. It then sets guidelines on how men should respect women during this period, especially if they want to express interest in marrying them. Furthermore, Allah also mentions the rights of a mother regarding breastfeeding and child support. 2 to 253. Now that Allah has extensively discussed the laws governing rituals and interpersonal affairs, He transitions the topic to narrating stories to teach us how human beings interact with the prophets and guidance when laws are given. Allah begins by relaying the story of the Prophet who fled from the decree of Allah and died anyway. Through this story, Allah demonstrates how He is in full control of all matters and that resisting the decree of Allah is futile and only leads to disappointment. From there, Allah relays the story of the children of Israel and how they sought help from Allah. However, when Allah sent them Talut as an aid, most of them criticized Talut out of arrogance and refused to follow the guidance that he had relayed to them. In the end, only those who followed the laws were prepared for their victory. So when Talut and the minority of believers met Jalut in the battlefield, Allah awarded them with victory and also blessed them with Daud a.s. as a new messenger and the king. Overall, this story demonstrates the need to follow the laws that Allah has specified. Moreover, it also describes how victory is gained through humility and allegiance to the messenger that was sent to us, just as was done by the people who followed the laws of Talut. This was all from my side. Thank you for watching. But don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. May Allah bless you all.